Silver, once a humble bystander to the glittering dominance of gold, now thrusting itself into the global economic spotlight. It is no longer just a pretty face in the jewelry case or a commodity for industrial use. In 2023, silver is making a powerful entrance into the world economy, and it's changing the rules of the game. And the numbers? They're staggering. Prices soared by more than 60% from 2020 to 2022. Industrial demand surged to a record 1.1 billion ounces. Experts predict that silver could hit a price of $50 per ounce in the next few years, with some even calling it the next gold rush. But why now? What's driving this explosive rise? Let's take a look at the cold hard facts. For decades, silver had been somewhat overshadowed by gold. After all, the shiny yellow metal had earned a reputation as the go-to hedge against inflation. But silver's role in modern industries is exploding, and it's far more than just a hedge. Today, 75% of silver demand comes from industrial use, a massive shift from its historical reliance on investment and coinage. The global appetite for silver is being driven by its irreplaceable role in technologies that define our future: solar energy, electric vehicles, EVs, 5G networks, and consumer electronics. These industries, increasingly vital to the world's economic growth, depend on silver in ways that are just beginning to be understood. Silver's role in the Green Revolution cannot be overstated. As the world pivots to renewable energy, silver's significance grows even more. Solar panels, which are crucial to this transition, are a major consumer of silver. Every photovoltaic solar cell requires about 0.1 gram of silver, and with solar energy expected to make up nearly 30% of global electricity generation by 2050, the demand for silver in this sector alone is skyrocketing. The International Energy Agency, IEA, predicts that solar power capacity will increase fivefold by 2040, which translates into hundreds of millions of ounces of silver needed to keep up with that demand. Then there's the electric vehicle market. While electric vehicles, EVs, are often praised for their low emissions, many overlook the role silver plays in their production. Silver is used in a variety of electrical components in EVs, from batteries to motors and connectors. The demand for silver in the automotive sector is projected to grow by 300% by 2040, driven by the global push toward cleaner transportation and the rise of autonomous vehicles. With governments worldwide setting ambitious targets to phase out gas-powered cars, the EV market is expected to reach over 30 million vehicles per year by 2030, with silver demand rising in tandem. Let's not forget the 5G revolution. As countries roll out their next-generation mobile networks, the need for silver has never been more pressing. Silver is a key component in 5G infrastructure, used in everything from cell towers to antennas. A single 5G base station can use as much as 30% more silver than 4G stations. With global spending on 5G infrastructure set to hit $1 trillion by 2025, the demand for silver in telecommunications is reaching new heights. What does this mean for silver prices? The numbers are staggering. While gold remains a popular safe haven during economic uncertainty, silver is now positioned as a dual-purpose asset, a hedge against inflation, and a critical industrial resource. Investors are beginning to take notice. In 2022, silver's price rose by over 10%, outpacing many major equity indices. This was no mere blip. It was the start of a major trend. In the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, global supply chains have been fractured, and silver's role in various critical industries is only becoming more pronounced. Global silver mining output fell by 2% in 2021, and many mining projects have been delayed or scrapped due to environmental concerns and supply chain issues. With demand rising rapidly and supply struggling to keep pace, the market is facing a severe shortage of silver. According to the Silver Institute, the global silver market is expected to have a deficit of around 200 million ounces by 2025. This is a huge red flag for the market. As industrial demand surges, there may not be enough silver to go around. Countries are beginning to recognize silver's potential as a strategic resource. In India, the government has already started investing in silver reserves to diversify its national stockpile. In China, the world's largest consumer of silver, the government is ramping up efforts to stockpile the metal for future use in its ever expanding green and technological sectors. Even in the United States, where silver has always been considered a secondary commodity to gold, the U.S. Mint has begun scaling up its production of silver coins and bullion to meet rising demand from both investors and industries. But silver's role in the economy is not just about solar panels, electric vehicles, and 5G technology. It's about the very fabric of global finance. The silver market is seeing a resurgence among institutional investors. Hedge funds, pension funds, and sovereign wealth funds are all beginning to see the writing on the wall. With interest rates rising and inflation running hot, silver offers a unique opportunity to hedge against potential economic turbulence. Unlike gold, which is often tied to central bank policies, silver has a much more direct link to technological and industrial progress. This makes silver an attractive option for those looking to diversify their portfolios and gain exposure to the future of the global economy. It's important to understand that silver's price fluctuations are not random. They are driven by very real, tangible economic forces. The global economic system is shifting, and silver is emerging as a key player in this new landscape. Whether it's used in the fight against climate change, the quest for cleaner energy, or the march toward a digital and technological future, silver is at the center of it all. And as global demand continues to increase, the price of silver is only going to rise. As we move further into 2023, the supply chain issues that have plagued global markets for years are only exacerbating the situation. Silver mining has faced numerous setbacks in recent years due to environmental regulations, social unrest, and the declining quality of ore deposits. This has made it increasingly difficult to meet the rising demand for silver. In fact, silver mining production has been on a decline since 2015, dropping by approximately 5% annually. This means that with demand skyrocketing, the shortage of silver is expected to grow. The reality of the shortage is already hitting manufacturers. The solar energy industry alone is facing a silver shortage so severe that companies have started to invest heavily in new technologies to recycle silver from old solar panels. But recycling is not a cure-all. According to the Silver Institute, only about 10% of silver used in solar panels is recycled, which is a fraction of what is needed. This means that, as demand for silver in the green energy sector explodes, manufacturers will be forced to compete for an ever-decreasing supply. The economic implications are massive. Just consider the fact that in 2021, global silver consumption reached 1.1 billion ounces, the highest in over 25 years. This included a huge spike in demand for silver for solar panels, which alone accounted for more than 20% of total silver demand in that year. And the demand for silver in solar energy is projected to rise by over 200% by 2040. As countries like China and India push for a green energy revolution, the demand for silver in solar panels is expected to skyrocket, putting even more pressure on the already strained silver market. As industries scramble for silver to fuel their technological and environmental aspirations, investors are taking notice. Silver is no longer just a precious metal to be bought as an asset in times of crisis. It has evolved into a critical resource for the world's future. In the past year, silver ETFs, exchange-traded funds, saw a massive increase in holdings. Investors now view silver not just as a commodity, but as a strategic asset for the global economy. These funds saw an increase of nearly $1.2 billion in investments during the first half of 2022 alone. But what does this mean for the average person? It means that silver's potential for growth is far from over. As technology continues to drive demand, silver is transforming into an indispensable resource for everything from smartphones to electric cars. The shift is so dramatic that some analysts are already forecasting silver's price to hit $50 per ounce by 2025, a massive jump from its current price of around $25 per ounce. The implications for global markets are far reaching. If silver's price were to climb to $50 per ounce, it would represent a 100% increase from its current value. This would result in a ripple effect across industries that rely on silver, especially in electronics, green energy, and automotive sectors. Manufacturers could face steep increases in production costs, and consumers could start to see higher prices for goods that rely on silver. Even more interestingly, the rise of silver might change the dynamics between silver and gold. For years, gold has been the dominant precious metal in terms of investment, with silver playing second fiddle. But as demand for silver increases, investors might start to view silver as more than just a poor man's gold. Some analysts even predict that silver could overtake gold as a safe haven investment in the coming years, given its dual role as both a financial asset and a crucial industrial resource. This shift could change the way central banks and investors approach precious metals. While central banks have traditionally focused on gold as their primary reserve asset, silver could start to take on more importance as a way to hedge against inflation and global economic uncertainty. This would be particularly true for nations that are heavily invested in renewable energy, such as China, which has already begun stockpiling silver to secure its place in the green economy. Looking ahead, it's clear that silver's rise is no fluke. Technological innovation, combined with the global push for sustainability, is driving demand to levels never seen before. Silver's role in the global economy is set to grow, and this could have massive consequences for industries, governments, and investors. As silver becomes more scarce, its value will inevitably rise, and those who are paying attention now may stand to gain the most. And it's not just about price increases. Silver's rise is about the shifting landscape of global trade and power. As the world continues to depend on silver for critical industries like renewable energy and technology, countries and corporations that control silver reserves will hold more power on the world stage. This could lead to a new form of geopolitical competition where silver becomes as important as oil or gold in terms of economic and strategic value. In the grand scheme of things, silver's rise is more than just a financial trend. It's a tectonic shift in the global economy, one that is reshaping industries and redefining the way countries approach their economic futures. As technology, green energy, and the world's appetite for innovation continue to grow, so too will silver's significance. With its increasing role in industries that are vital to the future of humanity, silver is not just a metal, it's a catalyst for change. And as the world scrambles to secure its place in this new economic reality, silver is going to play a central role in determining who wins and who loses. The silver rush is here. Are you ready to capitalize on it?